Hello everybody, Mr. Moo here in the cockpit, or at least in a browser in the cockpit, back in Elite Dangerous for some Q&A that I like to call So You Want to Know a Little Bit About the Engineers. Complicated question, multifaceted answers. Let's dive in. First off, what are the engineers? Mad scientists, basically, or, well, mad scientists are theoretical, mad engineers are, applied. So these guys are mad engineers with a dash and a sprinkle of mad science on top. How do you get to them? First off, you need Horizons. The Horizons update correlate, or the Horizons expansion, I should say, because all these folks are on the ground. You're going to need to be able to land on a planetary surface, and that requires Horizons. So, getting that out of the way very first. Next up, who are they? Where can you get to them? Well, I like to go to this website, inara.cz, INARA.cz. It has everything. It has the engineers. It also shows the progression tree. It has the blueprints. Come on, load up the blueprints. It'll show you what everything costs, what every component can have for upgrades, and here's the cannon. You can have efficient, high capacity, lightweight, long range, overcharged, rapid fire, short range, sturdy. Does this for every component, everything that can be modded on your ship. This website will show you where you can get it and what it costs. For instance, a grade 3 efficient cannon will cost 1 unit of chromium, 1 unit of exceptional scrambled emission data, and 1 unit of heat exchangers. And you can get that from the Sarge. The upgrade, that is. You got to go find the components on your own. Hover your mouse over them. Where do you get heat exchangers? You can get them from ship salvage, transport ships. Unknown signal sources. Degraded emissions in anarchy systems. That's where you can pick up heat exchangers. Chromium. Surface prospecting and mining in ice rings. So that's where you find all these materials, just basically surface prospecting around, or USSs, or ship salvage, and I use salvage with the air quotes firmly in place. Every upgrade is going to require them. So let's meet our engineers. Elvira Martuk. Let's start with her. How do you get to know her? Well, if you can get 300 light years from the system you started your career in, she will send an email, a message and an email, which would be a medal, kind of. She will send you a message saying, "Hi, you just made it 300 light years past your start. Why don't you come and talk to me? I can give you upgrades." Okay, so you fly to the Kun system and you go to Longsight Base. You put down, if you have 3 units of Suntil relics, she will then start crafting things for you. Every engineer has a meeting requirement and an unlock requirement, and the two are very different things. So, you're going to have to go and pick up 3 tons of Suntil relics after she has contacted you. Then, after that, she will start going through and you can start upgrading your parts. Well, how do you progress in upgrades? Good question. Let's go with the very basic here. The frameshift drive. Increased range on a frameshift drive. So every engineer has up to 5 grades of their upgrade of choice. And you can see here, grade 1 frameshift drive upgrades can be given by Felicity Farseer, Elvira Martuk, Professor Palin, and Colonel Briss Decker. You need 1 atypical disrupted wake echo. Where do you get that? You can get it as a mission reward, or you can scan high wakes. Just pop yourself outside of a busy station, deploy your wake scanner, and any ship that jumps out, just scan the wake. You may get lucky and get the data off of it. So you do 3 grade 1 upgrades. That will unlock grade 2. You do 3 grade 2 upgrades. That unlocks grade 3. 3 grade 3 upgrades gives you grade 4, and so on and so forth. You can get grade 3 by just grinding a ton of grade 1s, but after you've got grade 2 unlocked, the efficacy of just burning grade 1 upgrades drops significantly. Good luck getting to grade 5 on nothing but grade 1 upgrades. The Dweller. Deal with, 5 black markets. If you have delivered stuff to 5 separate black markets in-game, he will send a message to you saying, come to the weird system, come to Black Hide, and I will help you with beam lasers, burst lasers, and pulse lasers. Though his real specialty is the power distributor, just so you know. So that's his meeting requirement. You get there, and you give him 500 grand. So real easy unlock requirement there. Give him 500 grand, and he will say, hey, my shop's open. Now, there are other ways to gain reputation. I should go through that. There's the crafting modules, which I just covered. There's also selling commodities to Black Hide. Get a bunch of black market stuff, take it to his station, drop it off. He will pay you for it, and you will also gain reputation. So, that's nice. With Elvira, how do you gain rep? You can sell exploration data to her at Longsight Base. So she is just a variation on Felicity Farseer, which we will get to in a moment here. Liz Ryder, she does missile racks, torpedo pylons, mine launchers, hull reinforcement, and a little bit of armor. Public sources. So with this one's a little different. To get to her, you got to get cordial status with the Eurybia Blue Mafia. So go to Eurybia, and you just start doing missions for the Mafia. And you don't have to do many. Cordial status is pretty easy to attain. Just do some missions for the mob. There you go. You don't ask favors, you do favors. That's the mob way. Anyway, after you've gotten the meeting requirements set up, then you give her 200 tons of landmines. With a company called Demolition Unlimited, no real wild guess required to know what she's going to do with that. Okay, moving on. We've got Felicity Farseer. She's the one that most everybody is going to get immediate access to. And also the one that everybody's probably going to fly to the most early on. So you just get the exploration rank of Scout or higher, just do scans, just honk the horn wherever you go, turn in your data. Eventually you're going to hit Scout rank, and then she's going to contact you. The DCAT system, Farseer Inc., there you go. And you can craft modules from her, or you can sell more exploration data. Real easy. She is the one that will give you the grade 5 FSD range boost, and that is the big stuff. That'll give you up to a 50% jump boost automatic. Well, not automatically, but it won't use up any more fuel, or it will use up a tiny bit more fuel. And you'll be able to get a ship that can actually go places without being timed by a calendar. To get the famous grade 5 FSD range boost, you need data mined wake exceptions. You can get those high wake scanning. Again, wake scanner, a busy station, park yourself outside the door and just scan anybody. You're going to get a warning that your hard points have been deployed. As long as you don't shoot anybody, that's just fine. You've got your sensors deployed. Some of them just happen to be attached to targeting sensors, and some of those happen to be attached to weapons. Don't use the weapons, you're just fine. Chemical manipulators. Transport ships. Honestly, the easiest way to get them is to do a little bit of piracy, to be honest. Go into an anarchy system that's in a boom state. At least that's what I've always been told. Go into an anarchy system that's in a boom state, go find transports, and interdict them and blow them up. Now, from a more role-playing point of view, you can try to pick them up at convoy dispersal patterns. Again, though, that's a lot of transport ships or surface points of interest. There's the role-playing perspective. there's the practical. And, well, fortunately, the two kind of intermingle for me. Just a little bit. Other things in the chemical family. The chemical manipulators, the really hard ones. The chemical distilleries are a little bit easier to get. Ship salvage, but also just unknown signal sources. Chemical processors. I think you can get chemical manipulators actually in the really, what are they? High-grade signal sources. I can't remember the exact name on them, but they are the maybe exceptional signal source. Something like that. You've got degraded signals or degraded emissions and high-grade emissions, and yeah, there's grades on the unknown signal sources. Arsenic, hard to find. Surface prospecting again. The usual. There is a time gate and there is a time gate, or an RNG gate. It's not something I agree with, but it's something everybody's kind of had to deal with. And I know about the exploit scandal that happened. I'm not going to touch on that. That's been handled. That's been moved back to, zero. There's a time gate in that it takes a lot of time to go and find this stuff, to sniff it out, to fly to worlds, to land on them, to prospect, trying to find that right rock to blow up that will give you what you need, the arsenic, the manganese, the phosphorus. Then you fly back, and then it is playing it's pulling the lever on the slot machine and seeing what you get out of it. So it's a double gated blueprint upgrade. Do I agree with it? Not particularly, but it's at least a level playing field in that everybody's equally miserable with it. Some people may not be miserable with it. That's fine too. It is an equal playing field though. Other engineers. So there's also a progression. I've covered all the tier 1 stuff. Todd McQuinn, get more than 15 bounties and he'll contact you. Then you provide 100 grand. And in Alliance bounty vouchers, he also takes federal bounty vouchers, as far as I know. I think Trophy Camp is in a system that has mixed Alliance and federal bounties. Wolf 397. I'm trying to remember the name of the system. I thought Wolf. I think there's good bounty hunting at Wolf 406. I'm pretty sure that's where I go if I need a quick bounty to get back up to grade 3 with him. I want to say Wolf 406. Anyway, then you've got the tier 2 engineers. Zachariah Nemo. How do you get him? Well, if you get grade 3 to 4 with Elvira Martuk, and if you get an invitation from the party of Yoru, and if you can provide 25 units of Zethi companions, or Chihi companions, then you get Zachariah Nemo. He does frag cannons, multi-cannons, plasma accelerators. His big specialty, max grade 5, the frag cannon. Double-shot frag cannons with corrosive rounds are terrifyingly effective, to be honest. They are neat little toys. Then you've got Marco Quent. Now we're getting into the stuff here. You need... this guy was a pain in the ass to get to. But, worth it. Marco Quent. First off, you need a permit for the Sirius system from Sirius Corporation. How do you get that? Go into some... Excuse me. Just remembering that's bringing back bad memories. Anyway, how do you get that? You go to, say, any system that the Sirius Corporation is operating in, and you run a metric ass ton of missions. Not an imperial ass ton. It's got to be a metric ass ton. You get allied with Sirius Corp, they will give you a permit for the Sirius system. If you've got the permit already, congratulations, all you need is grade 3 or 4 from Elvira. Then you need 25 tons of modular terminals. Modular terminals cannot be picked up anywhere. They are not a commodity you can buy at any market. You have to run missions to get modular terminals. Like I said, pain in the ass. And he doesn't even do grade 5 anything. He does grade 4 power plants and grade 3 power distributors. Well, why the hell do you want to deal with Marco Quent? Because Marco Quent gets you the unlock for Ishmael Palin down in the Pleiades. And Professor Palin does the precious, the grade 5 drive tuning. You can get clean, you can get dirty, you can get reinforced. Clean is good if you like thermal efficiency. Dirty is great if you want performance. You can take a 300 meter per second ship and turn it into a 500 meter per second ship. I've got a grade 5 drive tune on a Imperial Courier that has pushed it north of, I believe, 720 meters per second. It can be done if you just strip it down to nothing and give it a great big stronking dirty drive tune. You will get speed that will, well, you can shoot at anything and then just leave it behind if the fight gets a little too uncomfortable for you. Grade 5 dirty drive tunes. This guy is a pain to get to though, but oh, so worth it. Grade 3 or 4 upgrades from Marco Quent. Attain a maximum distance from your career start location of at least 5,000 light years. And then provide 25 units of unknown fragments. Unknown fragments are actually a lot easier to get now than they used to be. Used to be you'd have to go to the shell of unknown artifacts that was surrounding the Pleiades, out of like 140 light years, I think it was. Go newting around in a system until you found a dangerous emissions or something like that. I believe it was called dangerous emissions. Threat level 2. You'd go in, you'd find an unknown artifact, you'd blow it up, and then you would scoop the fragments. And each fragment, that got you, well, it used to be 1 unit of unknown fragment per fragment you picked up. Now it's 3. So that's how you did that. And then you crafted modules or sold exploration data at a center out in the Pleiades. Now you can go to one of the Thargoid installations, bases, ships, growth sites, whatever the hell they are. You can look those up. Those are, Thargoid sites are fairly well known now. You go there, you find some of the scavengers, those little Thargoid skimmer, technorganic bug hoverbot things, blow it up, scoop the fragments. On the plus side, you also get other fragments, which are probably going to be used by the engineers in future projects once those guys show up and start blowing things up left, right, and center. So honestly, best part for Professor Palin would be go to one of the Thargoid sites and just start raising hell and doing scientific research. In this case, researching how many shots it takes to get to the center of a Thargoid skimmerbot. So that's the basics on progressing from each engineer to the next. Some of these require permits, like Marco Quent requires the Sirius permit. Colonel Decker, I believe she requires a Sol permit. Let's take a look here. Come on, Internet. I know you want it. There you go. Yep, she is in the Sol system. You got to be friendly with the Federation, get grade 3 or 4 from Yuri Ishmak, and provide either 1 million or 10 million credits worth of combat bonds. The amount needed depends on currently unknown conditions as of the last time this was updated. So, there's that. Combat bonds. These are different from bounties. You have to go into a system that is in a state of war or civil war, go into a war zone, pick a side, and start attacking targets until you have the appropriate amount of combat bonds obtained. So there's that. Now then, the components. Here are all the components. All the components. Unknown. Unknown is interesting. Unknown carapace, unknown energy cells, fragments, material composition data, organic circuitry. All from the Thargoid sites. The only thing you can't get from the Thargoid site is the wake data. And that is from the unknown ship encounters. So go out with a wake scanner, try to find one of those things, get yanked out of hyperspace, get the cutscene, do the scan, and you are 3 unknown wake datas richer after that. So yeah, that's the site I go to a lot for my engineering needs. Inara.cz. INARA.cz. And that's how I got all my engineering information and how I am still working on unlocking Colonel Decker. Just because I get bored in combat zones. I'm fine getting tons of money from resource sites. Combat zones are just so much less profitable to me. But to each their own. Also, combat zones do help you influence the system. So pick a side you like and hey, you're helping them along. I don't have everybody unlocked yet, but I've got Professor Palin and I've got grade 5 dirty drive tunes on everything, and it makes me very fast and very happy. In the meantime, I think I'm going to head back out into the deep dark, get some more prospecting done. Fly safe, everybody. Take care.